What's up, guys? It's Necro and welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to make a quick video covering the patch notes as they were recently released for Modern Warfare and Warzone Season 6. As you can see here, September 28th. That was, for me, just about an hour ago. Just kind of wanted to cover them real quick. They show a little bit of an image here of, you know, what's coming up here on the launch week and then throughout the rest of the season. Warzone is getting a map update. They teased a little bit of the subway system with a recent teaser trailer. They're also talking about Armored Royale, which I do believe will be talked about in the patch notes here as well. We have a couple of new operators named Farah and Nikolai coming up, as well as a couple of weapons, the SPR-208, which I think is an R700, and then the ASVAL. I'm pretty hyped to, you know, have these in the game myself. I really enjoy using different weapons. I hope that they're, you know, hope they kind of change up the meta a little bit. If you're into the multiplayer side of Modern Warfare, then you got some new maps on the way. You got a tank factory, you got broadcast. I remember broadcast from older Call of Duty titles. New gunfight map called Station, a new ground war map called Verdansk Riverside, a new multiplayer mode, Killstreak Confirmed, and a new finishing move called Vampire Bat. I guess it fits the Halloween theme. It makes sense now that I think about it. Was not expecting a bat, but here we are. Also, it looks like they're having an event from October 20th to the November 3rd called The Haunting of Verdansk. New limited time modes, rewards, and more. I really am curious about this. Based on the image, it looks like there might be trying out a little bit of like nighttime action on the map, so that's pretty exciting to me. I'm a big fan of the idea of changing things up with a very simple idea of lighting change. I know a lot of people don't like fighting in the dark. There's times when I don't either, but you know, it'll be fun for a little while to kind of experience it in a little bit of a different way. New melee weapon, butterfly knife. I'm sure they'll do fancy little moves with that and more. We got more multiplayer modes in week 2, 3, and 4. You know, all these things. If you're into the multiplayer side of the game, then you have all that to look forward to. So let's move on to the rest of the patch notes here. Playlist update for Modern Warfare. We got Ground War, Gunfight, Blueprint Customs, Face Off at Station, Killstreak Confirmed, and then Season 6. I'm assuming that means Mosh Pit. Season 6 maps, Broadcast and Meow Store, Tank Factory, and Mosh Pit game modes. For Warzone, the playlist update includes quads, trios, duos, solos, plunder trios, and there it is, Armored Royale quads. Now, this is where things get interesting. I did read these a little bit before, you know, making the video here, but just real quick, like this first one is pretty big because these are very, very popular. It says, General Fixes, C4, slight delay when performing a quick detonation. A beep will now play when quick detonation is triggered. Also reduces throw initial velocity by 30%. That reduces the speed of the throw at the very moment you throw it by almost an entire third, which means that it's going to take a lot longer for it to get to the target. Also, with the delay built into it as well, that means they're not going to be nearly as effective at destroying vehicles. You'll have to learn how to time it better. They're not going to be all that great at getting people that are hiding in attics of houses in Verdansk like they often do, because they'll see them coming and they'll have a moment to, you know, run away. You won't be able to really use them so effectively mid-fight without a little bit of a penalty, and I'm sure the beep will be audible on both the thrower and the receiver's end. That's a very interesting change. I don't use C4 a whole lot myself personally. I'm a big fan of thermites, specifically because if you stick a target, it will 100% damage them. But I'm really curious if this shakes things up in Warzone altogether. I'm sure it will, but I'm curious to see how it plays out. So moving on, fix for a bug where after reviving a teammate in survival, there will be a 5-second delay before the user is able to use their weapon again. That I've never experienced that, luckily, but I can see like why that's a good fix. I'm happy to see that. Fix for an issue where players could obtain unlimited stopping power rounds. I was very lucky and didn't see a whole lot of people actually abusing this. I didn't really talk about it much on stream or in any of my videos because it's something that is very exploitable. I'm very happy that they took care of that here as well. Fix for an issue where the defending player had a long respawn timer after the HQ was taken back and all players were dead while in a headquarters match. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Many of you already know I don't really play the multiplayer side very often myself. So, you know, it's something that specifically headquarters, I never really played it. So I really, you know, I never experienced this personally, but I'm all for bug fixes. Fix for an issue where it was possible to put a Molotov or grenade into a planted bomb, causing it to kill the defusing player. I've seen a lot of videos of this in just the last 24 hours. I'm glad they got that straightened out. That's the ultimate cheese right there. I've seen a lot of the videos will show people just going out of their way just to get the Molotov or grenade into the planted bomb and then just willingly dying just to watch the result. All right, so weapon fixes. Fix for 2 issues where the player's watch and or heartbeat sensor would not be entirely visible when using the XRK chainsaw attachment on the Fin LMG. I'm not a big fan of the chainsaw attachment myself in Warzone. I'm sure it's more effective in multiplayer, but all the same, that's kind of a shitty thing to happen. I'm glad they got that sorted. Fix for a bug where explosive and thermite rounds do not function as intended on the chronic variant of the Blunt Force 2 bundle. Okay, skin-based bugs, nice. Well, they got that sorted now too. Fixed an issue where the muzzle selection screen for the Fin LMG was hard to view in the gunsmith menu. It seems like there's several bugs around the Fin, isn't there? I never really noticed. I leveled it up in Warzone and it was fun for a bit, but I just kind of moved on from it after I maxed it out. Again, glad they got that sorted. Fixed an issue where the player's left hand will not properly grip the weapon with the 23-inch Romanian barrel as when it's equipped on the AK. I use the Romanian barrel on my AK loadouts. I gotta be honest with you, I thought the way it gripped looked strange because it kind of blocked the irons a little bit. So it's like, there's people in chat that would talk about this pretty much every day, but I haven't used the AK myself in quite some time because it is not exactly the best weapon in Warzone. That's putting it lightly. But yeah, I guess I'll be excited to use it again next time I want to, you know, make punishment for myself. Fixed a few bugs where the prone hipfire view model positioning was not appearing as intended and could disappear in certain circumstances. Solid. Origin 12. Oh, everyone's favorite shotgun to encounter. Origin 12 reduced very close damage in Warzone. Now, I'm going to be honest here as well. I have not been very... how do I say this? I have not been very convinced by most of the weapon changes that have been made in Warzone, so I'll believe it when I see it. Here's looking at things like the Grau and RPGs that were, quote, nerfed, unquote. The only weapon I feel was actually changed effectively was the Bruin. It's still good, but it's not nearly what it once was. You know what I mean? So I'll believe this when I see it, but I really do hope that it's something that we won't have to worry about as much. I'm fine with it existing, of course. I love variety in weaponry. I'm a big fan. But as it stands, the Origin 12 will kill you before you can react based on how high the weapon damage is at close range. How people will hide around a corner with it and just kind of wait for you to get close, as well as the low refresh rate servers. So I'm really hoping this is an effective change. Shotguns increase damage of slugs in Warzone. This could be interesting. Slugs can be a bit of a hot topic debate depending on the game. As someone that's played a lot of Battlefield, you could actually use slug-based shotguns to nearly snipe at a pretty effective range. So I'm curious, you know, what this will mean for Warzone. Looks like we might have to try some out soon. Oh, another chainsaw on the Fin LMG thing going here. Add a description in Gunsmith noting, yeah, there's an extra H in there, noting the attachment does not allow for weapon mounting. And increased brightness on the tack laser attachment. Interesting. I did not know that the chainsaw did not allow for weapon mounting. I guess it makes sense because the way the weapon is meant to be used is kind of like a minigun, so it's pretty. I can imagine. Oh my god, could you think about that for a moment? Someone mounting pretty much a minigun on like a tree in the woods. Oh my god, that'd be nuts. Anyway, Warzone fixed a collision issue in the south corner of the stadium. I don't go to stadium often, so I don't really know what that is, but happy about it. Fix for an issue where a fence with a white tarp over it near the hospital is allowing players to see through it on one side. I have experienced this several times, and that is, you generally don't want to use a tarp with a chain link fence as cover anyway, as pretty much any round in the game will go through it. But all the same, if you are trying to, be stealthy, then it sucks when, you can't have the cover that you think you have. So this is a solid fix. I'm glad that's there. Fix for an issue where on occasion the train would disappear as a white placeholder icon on the map. I never saw that happen, but I can see why they would fix it. Pretty straightforward. Implemented fixes to help properly track Warzone wins. I'm not quite sure what this means. I've never had issue tracking my wins. What I do hope it means, though, is that they separated like solos, duos, trios, and quad wins. It would be nice to know how many of each game mode wins I do have. Majority of my gameplay is solos, and I'm fairly certain that out of the currently like 200 some wins I do have, that over 150 of them are solos. But I don't, there's no way to know for sure. There's just no actual tracker for the individual modes. I really hope that that is what that means, but if not, I won't be surprised. Fixed a bug where players were unable to damage enemies with gunfire while on an ascender. This is something that, if you guys know Fireborn, really good friend of mine, was talking to him over the weekend. He was talking about how he couldn't damage someone while they were on an ascender. So yeah, I've never experienced it myself, but this is great. I'm sure he'll be happy to find out that things are going to be fixed there. If a player has their minimap set to not rotate, they will see inaccurate pings on the heartbeat sensor. This has been fixed. That's a really odd bug. I can't believe that was a thing, but the game does have a lot of like smaller bugs that seem to go under the radar for many people. So I'm glad they got that sorted too. Fix for a rare issue where the train supply boxes could vanish during longer rounds. Again, an odd bug, but it is what it is. Looks like they've got it sorted now. Good to see it. Now this next one is pretty. This is going to be pretty exciting for anyone that likes to really get sweaty in Modern Warfare or Warzone while they're on PC. NVIDIA Reflex is now available in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, including Warzone, and will deliver latency improvements in GPU-intensive gaming scenarios on GeForce GTX 900 and higher NVIDIA graphics cards. If you guys haven't seen what NVIDIA Reflex is, it basically allows you to. It allows you to have a massive refresh rate on 1080p resolution games that support it, or that is supported by it, I should say. This is something that you're going to see a lot of monitors that are going to be upwards of, I think, 360 hertz. I mean, that's pretty nuts. I do hope to see that they bring it to 1440p as well at some point, considering this next generation of GPUs is pretty powerful. Granted that people can actually get their hands on them and they don't get scalped away by bots, as well as, they don't have a bunch of third-party mishaps with cheap hardware. But that's a topic for another time. I'm really excited to see this in general in this game. This might be something that I need to test out myself if I can get my hands on a monitor that can go upwards of what I currently have. That is very good, very solid stuff right there. And then improve stability and performance. This is something they include in a lot of their patches, and I gotta be honest with you, I have seen massive improvements on my rig. In my rig, I have a 3950X, a Ryzen 9 3950X, 64 gigs at 3600 megahertz of RAM, and a 2080 Ti. When I first started playing Warzone, when it first released, with this, with my current rig, I was barely seeing 100 FPS on high. And with these stability and performance, things that they throw in with a lot of these patches, I'm actually able to get like upwards of 144. I can actually lock it in most areas of the map. There's some areas that'll drop below, but overall, it's they've done a pretty good job at really increasing said stability and performance. Here's hoping that I can actually hard lock it there at 144 and 1440, and kind of experience a smoothness all around the world of Verdansk. But that said, this video went on a little bit longer than I actually intended. But I just wanted to cover the patch notes for you guys, so that way when you get up in the morning, you can kind of just check it out. Hope you guys enjoy the game, enjoy Season 6, and I will hope to see you as well in my streams or in the next video. See ya.